Under the blinding stage lights and roaring cheers, BTS's Jin appeared with a smile that seemed almost too perfectly composed. Yet behind that polished facade, something was unmistakably wrong. Why did his movements seem slower than usual? Why did his gaze linger downward between songs, as if fighting to regain composure? And most importantly, how is he really doing now? These questions have surged through the minds of millions of armies worldwide, their concern growing with each new glimpse of him in recent days. Witnesses from the latest public appearance reported an unsettling change. Jin's posture, usually confident and steady, carried an uncharacteristic heaviness. His interactions with the audience were still warm, but tinged with a subtle restraint that did not go unnoticed. It was not a matter of missteps or off-pitch notes. Jin executed his performance flawlessly, but rather the invisible weight that seemed to follow him even under the spotlight. The atmosphere in the venue shifted. What was initially a celebration began to feel like a silent observation, each fan scanning for signs, trying to decode what was truly happening. Social media erupted within minutes. Posts ranged from mild curiosity to outright alarm, dissecting every camera angle, every pause between verses, every second of backstage footage. Fans who have followed Jin's career for over a decade know his habits well, and this was not the Jin they were accustomed to seeing. His physical presence was there, but there was an underlying fragility that could not be ignored. The speculation grew intense. Was it exhaustion from his demanding schedule? The lingering effects of past physical strain? Or was it something deeper, something that would not be revealed immediately? Close observers noticed that during the encore, Jin took a longer pause than usual before addressing the crowd. The microphone remained at his side, his eyes scanning the audience, lips pressed together. Then, almost too quietly for the arena's size, he offered words of gratitude. It was not the length of his speech that stood out, but its tone, slower, softer, carrying a weight that contrasted sharply with the celebratory atmosphere of the event. The silence between his sentences was heavy enough to make even the loudest fan chants fade. The concern only escalated after the event ended. High-resolution photographs from that night circulated online, revealing a faint paleness in his complexion. Though such changes could easily be explained by stage lighting, the ARMY's collective memory of Jin's usual vibrant appearance made the difference impossible to overlook. Threads of discussion quickly filled with theories, each attempting to piece together a timeline of when these changes began. Some pointed to recent travel schedules, others to the intensity of his ongoing commitments. But a recurring thought kept resurfacing. Whatever the cause, Jin was pushing through it in silence. Observers who were present at the venue's backstage area described seeing Jin move with deliberate care, as if each step required precision. Crew members, while maintaining professional discretion, were seen subtly adjusting equipment and clearing paths for him. Such measures are not unusual for high-profile artists, but in this case, the timing raised eyebrows. It was clear that his team was aware of the situation, yet the choice to keep it unaddressed publicly only fueled speculation further. The global fanbase is now split between hope and anxiety. On one side, there are those urging patience and privacy, reminding others that artists are entitled to personal space and that assumptions can do more harm than good. On the other side are the voices demanding answers, arguing that silence in moments of visible strain can only heighten public concern. Both perspectives share a common thread: deep-rooted care for Jin's well-being. What makes the situation even more complex is Jin's reputation for composure. Throughout his career, he has been known to shield fans from worry, often downplaying his own challenges to maintain the group's uplifting image. This habit, while admirable in its intent, has left armies now questioning how many moments of struggle may have gone unnoticed in the past. Was this the first time such signs were visible, Or have they simply been overlooked until now? There is also a psychological dimension to consider. In high-pressure careers, especially in the entertainment industry, physical signs of strain are often intertwined with mental and emotional fatigue. Jin's public image has always been that of the worldwide handsome member, confident and approachable, but those closest to him have occasionally hinted at the weight of responsibility he carries. The question is no longer just about whether Jin is tired. It's about how much he has been enduring without speaking up. Fans have responded in the only way they can, through a flood of supportive messages across all platforms. Digital spaces have transformed into walls of encouragement, each post aiming to remind Jin that his health matters more than any stage performance. In a way, the concern has united ARMY across continents, shifting the conversation from the usual excitement of tour updates to a collective watchfulness over their idol's well-being. In the absence of an official update, every public sighting of Jin has taken on heightened significance. Camera flashes capture not just his face, but the subtle movements, how quickly he walks, whether he uses handrails, the depth of his smiles. In normal circumstances, such details would seem trivial, but now they are magnified, dissected, and debated in real time. It is a rare and uncomfortable position for both the artist and the fans, a shared space of worry where every new image can either ease or deepen the collective unease. The question remains unanswered. How is Jin doing now? The absence of clear information has created a tension that no amount of speculation can resolve. Until there is a definitive sign that he is well, whether through a strong performance, an appearance filled with his usual energy, or a direct statement, the uncertainty will persist. For now, ARMY watches closely, their eyes trained not just on the stage, but on every moment in between, hoping that the next time Jin steps into the spotlight, it will be with the strength and vitality they have always known him for. The days following that unsettling appearance have been marked by a strange combination of silence and noise. Silence from Jin himself, who has maintained his usual discretion without issuing any public remarks that might explain the visible change in his demeanor. Noise from every other corner of the global conversation, ARMY fan forums, independent fan journalists, reaction channels, and countless social media threads, where the speculation has not slowed for a moment. The absence of clarity has, paradoxically, made the uncertainty even heavier. Observers who have monitored Jin's recent schedules point to the intensity of his commitments, noting that his appearances have been unusually close together in different cities. The logistics alone, time zone changes, late-night rehearsals, extended meet-and-greet sessions, would challenge even the most seasoned performer. Yet for Jin, whose reputation is built on precision and perfection, there seems to be no allowance for imperfection. This relentless pace, combined with his tendency to minimize his own struggles in public, creates an environment where fatigue can manifest suddenly and without warning. A particularly telling moment occurred during a recent offstage fan interaction. Those present recall a moment when Jin, while greeting attendees, briefly placed a hand on the table as though steadying himself. It was a subtle movement, lasting no more than a second, but to fans who have memorized his body language over years of events, it was glaring. The fact that such a small detail could trigger widespread discussion speaks volumes about how closely ARMY is now watching his every move. Adding to the unease is the contrast between Jin's physical presence and his vocal performance. While his voice remains steady and clear, delivering each note with the same technical control he is known for, there is a noticeable shift in how he delivers them. Gone are the playful, extended ad-libs that often lighten the mood. In their place is a more restrained, almost economical style of singing, as though conserving energy. This change might escape casual listeners, but for those who have followed his career from debut to now, it is impossible not to notice. The emotional weight of this situation has also had a ripple effect on the fanbase's behavior. At events, cheers that once erupted without hesitation are now occasionally punctuated by moments of hesitation, as fans try to gauge Jin's condition before responding with full enthusiasm. In online spaces, hashtags celebrating performances are interwoven with messages urging rest, health checks, and self-care. The tone has shifted from celebratory to protective, with many openly stating that they would rather see Jin step away from the spotlight temporarily than risk a deeper decline in his health. Cultural analysts who follow the dynamics of idol-fan relationships note that this type of concern can create both unity and tension within a fandom. Unity, because the shared worry strengthens the emotional bond between fans. Tension, because differing opinions on how to handle the situation, push for answers or respect silence, can lead to internal disagreements. For BTS's global audience, which spans diverse cultures and communication styles, navigating this balance is especially complex. Then there is the question of image management. In the entertainment industry, the visual narrative surrounding an artist can be as influential as the music itself. Every photograph, every video snippet becomes part of that narrative. When those images start to suggest vulnerability, the industry often responds in one of two ways: concealment or control. Concealment, by limiting public exposure until the issue resolves. Control, by carefully curating appearances to downplay any signs of strain. Neither approach offers fans the transparency they seek, and both leave room for rumors to flourish unchecked. The heart of the matter is the stark reality that no amount of professional polish can fully mask genuine fatigue. Whether the root cause is physical, mental, or a combination of both, it is evident that something has shifted. The challenge lies in distinguishing between normal human weariness and a deeper concern requiring intervention. Fans are left to read between the lines, interpreting micro-expressions, changes in posture, and subtle alterations in his tone of voice. Those who attended his latest event describe an especially poignant scene. As the closing music faded and Jin waved goodbye, his smile remained in place, but his eyes, magnified on the large screens above, seemed momentarily distant. It was a fleeting look, quickly replaced by his usual brightness, but for many, it confirmed their worst fears. They saw not just an artist concluding a performance, but a man carrying an unspoken burden. The cycle of anticipation and apprehension continues with each scheduled appearance. Will he seem stronger this time? Will the spark return to his expressions? Or will the same restrained energy resurface, reminding everyone that the question, "How is he doing now?" remains unanswered? For a fandom accustomed to reading every sign, the next sighting of Jin will be as much an emotional test as it is a moment of entertainment. Until then, the collective hope remains unshaken, that whatever weight he is carrying, it will soon be lifted, and that when he steps into the spotlight again, it will be with the ease, vitality, and undeniable presence that first captured the world's attention. But for now, ARMY watches, waits, and wonders, acutely aware that sometimes the brightest light on stage can also reveal the deepest shadows.